So in this way, the city doesn't know us as a techno style crew or like psychedelic trancers or like techno whatever or drum and bass. It is a political work. It is like a social cultural work, social cultural activism. It has to do a lot of with ideas spreading around manifestos, free distribution of manifestos. And when it happens in the time of the arts, it is full respect to the artists. For free, of course, they don't get paid. But it is like the best circumstances, high quality, because nobody get paid. All the money goes to the production. So we have more people than capitalism, higher quality than capitalism. Capitalism cannot gather more people than us, so we control the culture of the city. And all the capitalists, they show respect to the crews, and after they show respect also to the artists. Because of course we don't say to the artists to do not go and play in the commercial places after if they want. So the artists, they play free for the underground movement, and when they have to play in a club, they make some small ticket or they take money, they get paid, okay? But when they play for the underground movement, and Void Network, it is not, of course, it is not the only group that organizes this kind of things. Many groups organize this kind of things, and it's very important influence into the gathering of the thousands. How you turn, the hundreds into thousands. It is this process. And for solidarity concerts, of course, to gather thousands and thousands of euro for the prisoners.
Also, like, what makes this night together with there and together with Violence Club or Council?
What was that?
Phoenix.
Yes,
I think I heard our name.
Like also Void Network makes this event
Like
here.
similar to that.
Yeah, together with Peter and with Phoenix Club or Council.
Yeah.
And every time I've done a talk on this tour, it's not specifically about Greece, but like about one of the books or something, they've insisted on doing visuals in the projection.
Yeah, because
I can't even say no.
yes, because she makes some very nice lectures about democracy or about ecology, and we say, come on, we have the show of the ecology, we have the show for sure. Say, no, maybe we have the lights open, Oh, no, we have to because to make it interesting, like the young people get feeling boring of the lectures. Yeah, the lectures, it's boring.
It's another element. It's another element.
Yes, yeah,
The
it's
visuals,
inspirational.
the culture, music maybe a little bit we could hear in the background, but we could have like asked to make the old music. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
every element.
I want to tell a story quick about. Is that handsome?
No, keep going.
Bring it up. Okay. I want to tell a story quick about the occupied park of Exarchia. This really shows what some of the results of the fighting in December was in terms of further empowering the social struggles. There was basically an abandoned lot, half a block away from the spot where Alexis Grigoropoulos got killed by police. And it was a long time ago. The city was supposed to make it a park, and they failed to make it a park. They wanted it to be a parking lot instead. And one day, and actually they just had the 1-year anniversary of their existence as a park. The Assembly of Exarchia, which started previously in the run-up to the resistance to the Olympic Games against the gentrification in the neighborhood. It started with anarchist involvement to try to stop the gentrification of Exarchia for the Olympics, and this was an assembly, a neighborhood assembly that was still going. They met and they decided, well, fuck, we've been waiting for 15 years, was it, for a park, and they still haven't given us a park, so we're going to give ourselves a park. So they tore down the wall around this place. They came 1,000 people with jackhammers one day. They tore up the asphalt. They had ordered trees. They brought in trees. They planted trees. They started in the morning, and by the afternoon they had a park. When for 15 years the city was saying, there's not enough money, we can't do this, we don't know how.
It's very complicated, the specific area is problematic.
So 1,000 people came. The police couldn't stop them because it was too many people. It was all sorts of people, young and old. And one day they made themselves a park, and they didn't stop there. They continued to work at it. They made it extremely beautiful. They put in mosaic tile walkways and made their own benches. They made a playground area for children, making their own bricks. They learned how to make their own freaking bricks. And so they made this little spiral thing for kids to climb around in with their own bricks and graffiti murals. And they had meetings there, public public meetings. They had documentary film showings, for example, about a similar occupied park in Barcelona, and meetings for when this one prisoner activist got killed in the women's prisons, and so they made a meeting there about solidarity and about how in other women's prisons there were uprisings and support for her. All these different things, and it was really amazing because you could see. And even a week later, people who were clearly lifetime residents, they would be walking by, older folks, they'd be walking by and they'd come to the park, and all of a sudden they'd look up and they'd start looking at the street signs, right? Because they become lost in their own neighborhood. Like this is the level to which it had been transformed. And this is another autonomous area. I mean, you have the Polytechnic University, which has asylum. The police can't go in, and that's not because it's written in the law. That's because people fight for it and defend it, because they've already retracted that law, but they still can't enforce it because people fight back and the police go and do it. And then they've occupied the space where Alexis got killed. They changed the street name. They decided this will no longer. What was your name? Okay. They said they changed the name of the street and they put up a really beautiful plaque, and now it's called the Street of Alexis Grigoropoulos, and so they've reclaimed that space, and then one block down, they reclaimed the space of the park, so that the handful of times, which can probably be counted on one hand, since December 2008, that police have entered this zone, they've had to enter it in force, and so, for example, one time they were going like a big group of people, the new Delta Force, the new rapid response police unit that was created after December to make targeted arrests of anarchists. That's the purpose of this police unit. One time they went in there at night, like a whole bunch of them trying to arrest people, and they came into the park and they were shouting to all the neighbors, "We're in the park, this is your fucking park," like acting like hooligans, like knocking over benches and stuff, making it obvious how abnormal this experience was, because normally they couldn't do that. Normally this park was off limits to them. And so like the one time when they come in with enough force temporarily,
because of the political power, not because they are like some superhuman beings there that they kick the police. It's because of the social power and the political power.
It's not because the police is not powerful.
To come to kick the people. Of course they are very much
come, but there will be responses. And so that park is still there 1 year later, and I think this
weekend it is the 1 year birthday of this park.
This is my personal perspective. This is something that's still debated within the assembly of the park, but in my view, an important part of this is that in order to fight for the park, to protect the park, they've had, in my view, they've had to risk losing it. Not to negotiate with the city to try to make the space permanent, not do controversial things there to endanger it, but that to use this as a stepping stone, to always take more and take more, because if you ever stop, if you ever circle the wagons, if you ever adopt a defensive posture, then you lose it, then you will lose it. And so that's been one of the debates within the park.
And yes, this was one of the debates, because some people, they wanted to turn the park as a political existence. Like they were saying that the assembly of the park, it has to decide what is happening in the park because it's an occupied space, okay? And also like to come all together, the people that they participate in the creation of the park, and they produce a political existence, And most of the other people, like the Void Logic and also many other people, they had the different opinion that, we create the park, we participate in the assembly like we create, means all the people, all these thousands of people that they participate. We create the park, we participate in the assembly as more possible as we need, as we can. And the assembly, it is like advisory and to offer help. It is not like to decide what will happen and what not, It is like to advise the people that, okay, this you have to be careful for this and that and that and that thing when you use the park to make an event, for example, because many events that are taking place there, okay? And also, I like to make the people as more possible help. The assembly exists there to be included, like welcoming all the people inside the city, around the city, the groups, the different collectives, the affinity groups, to feel that they can make something there, and also to help them, and of course to take care of the park, like to make it better and better for the constructions, but not to be as a specific political existence, to make a political announcements that the park believes like that. No, the park is a public space, It's like for everybody. It's open. Everybody coming and do whatever, and they believe whatever.
So,
this was a critical point for the park, How you make the assembly open.
Do you have any other questions?
That started as a dirt lot, and then people just organized and created a park out of the dirt lot, the empty dirt lot, like we have all over the place right now. If I had a question, I would ask you guys specifically what you wanted to leave in in our culture, like to, you know, because I feel like we hear a lot of talk about the organizing. I mean, there's different tactics and such, but like a lot of it seems like culturally enabled, culturally based, you know. And like I feel like I'm more interested in Greek culture now, maybe like the music or the art that's happening in the city of Athens. But like specifically, if you wanted to, you know, like lay something on our culture, like to take away, I mean, what would that be?
Like I can say, you know, like that. I mean, the important thing is to understand that the Greek insurrection is culturally and historically situated. Absolutely. In this way, the thing that we have to share with you and we have to say to you, it is that we really believe that there is existing cultural and historical circumstances and powers inside the American society that can bring insurrection. We don't come to bring exotic gifts from our lands to you. The gifts you have in your land, for sure. You have to dig in your land to find them, you know. And this is the most important thing that we know. I mean, we came so far away from there here just to clean the misunderstandings and the illusions or like the romanticizing of our struggle, you know. And the only thing that we can say is that you have to search deep into your history and also to understand deeply your society, because this we try to share with you all night tonight, you know. What is the techniques, the strategies, and the methods that we use to understand our own society, to understand our own society, to criticize our own society, and to attack to this misery, to the feeling that we cannot do it, you know, that the things they are like that the police is so powerful, that the state will never help us but they will fuck us forever, that the banks it is like for to obey, and all life it is to give back money to the bank, you know. All this is a normality. To fight against the normality. This is our work, okay? And we believe that when you understand your society, when you put questions in your society and you have your ears open to understand what's happening and what's the problems of the people, you know, then you communicate. And if you publicize, because to publicize, to be public, to have a face, to make public outside in the streets. The streets, I mean, there is a slogan, I mean, we can share some slogans. Like in Greece, we have the slogans that it says, consciousness born on the streets. It's not born in your house, in your private life, you know. Like there is this word idiotis, that means private, individual. This one that he speaks only about his individual problems. But the name is idiotis, but it turned into English into idiot. The word idiot comes from this Greek word idiotis, that means this one individual that cares only for his individual problem. Because it is a point, idiotis, the idiot. Yeah, this one is small, limited, but doesn't understand all the problems of the others. And also, like another thing is this, that, I mean, according to our logic, we don't see any capitalistic reward at the end of our times. You know, like if we allow capitalism to continue, it's going to be like the end of the humankind anyway, like the end of the humanity. So to revolt, I mean this, we say, revolt, arise.